the City podcast.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Keys to the City. I'm your host, Trevor Keys, alongside the big brother T3, Ted Keys, in an eventful Monday. Yes, very, very excited Monday. As you can tell, I'm repping the big blue colors tonight as the New York Giants take on the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to get diving into that in just a brief sec, but also an odd, but yet also eventful week 3 yesterday, I should say, in the NFL. Ted, we'll talk about that in a few. Was it just an odd day, or is it a sign of things to come for this upcoming season? And plus, we're going to talk about quickly maybe the two favorites of the NFL MVP award right now. Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. Got to also add in Josh Allen. But those three guys right now, but who's been the more impressive out of Lamar and Jalen? We'll talk about that in a brief, but we have to start off with tonight's game. Look, I know we are football fans, but when it comes to us, I forgot the most important thing. You can check out Keys to the City and on many more social media platforms, as well as clovercrestmedia.com, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and like I said, so follow, like, subscribe, or share. Ted, we are football fans, diehard football fans. It's in our blood. It's in our DNA. We love it. But when it comes to football, we are New York Giant football fans too. We bleed big blue, and tonight the New York Giants, like we talked about last week, Ted, with the Miami Dolphins specifically, a true test for the Miami Dolphins. You think about who they had to play this week, the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills have dominated the Miami Dolphins in the recent history meetings, 7 straight up until yesterday. Well, the Dolphins did their part. They found a way. It wasn't pretty at times, but they found their way to win a hell of a football game. The same could be said about those New York Football Giants, Ted, as they are one of 3 teams left in the current NFL world that stand alone 2-0 or 3-0 or better. So, Ted, you look at this series, and the Dallas Cowboys have dominated. 15-5 in the last 20 meetings. 9 of the last 10 have been owned by the New York, or I shouldn't say New York. I wish it was the New York Giants, but it's been owned by the Dallas Cowboys. Ted, the big question is this passing game of the New York Football Giants against this dominant defense. It's been a stout defense. The offense, both of these offenses, passing attacks have not been impressive. Kind of like we talked about the Green Bay Packers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Kind of resonates how we were talking about last Friday's show. A lot of these meetings. Did the New York Giants finally get past the boys tonight? And if so, how do they do it to you?
They got to score more than 6 points in the first half, and because that's what they've done in the first 2 games of the season. Mm-hmm. They have to be much better in the first half. They got to get off to a hot start. Kadarius Toney's out for tonight. I think that's a key loss. Listen, he's a good player. It's frustrating. I mean, Kenny Golladay will have more reps tonight. Hopefully, he can produce. Or I think if not, like I said on previous week's show, he'll probably get shipped out of the Giants. Someone needs a receiver. I mean, Green Bay's looking for receivers. Chicago's looking for receivers. They like to deal draft picks. Maybe we can. I mean, hey, we need some pieces. But let's get on to what this is all about. This is all about Daniel Jones, right? He's got to play much better. He has not been impressive so far this season through 2 games. And honestly, we're 2-0 by the chinny chin chin on our hair. The old saying.
Hey, we'll take it. We're usually 0-2.
I get it, but it's not impressive. But you take. Listen, football doesn't have to be impressive. A win's a win, and you take them when you can get them.
Yeah.
What do I say about this? Got to take advantage of Cooper Rush being the quarterback. And the reason why I say that
is
the
undefeated Cooper Rush?
Yeah, well, we hope for a quarterback competition. No, but really, Trev, this is like what I was telling you before, and we talked about this, is the Miami game, right? The Miami Bills game. Like, if Miami was going to prove something and win a game, and against the Buffalo Bills, they had to win in Miami because this game is in September. It's really tough for any of the visiting teams going down to Miami at this time of the year. It's really hot. It's humid. It plays a major role. Even though the Bills dominated that game yesterday, time of possession, plays, everything.
You could see that they were worn down at the end of that game.
And Miami won the game. So, listen, at the end of the day, you could say the Bills were the better team. They played better. They just didn't get the win. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you get them. You got to get the W. The Giants have to play much better. It is going to be helpful tonight to get our first-round draft pick, Kayvon Thibodeau. Also going to get E.G. Alare, the defensive and also from Georgia, who's been there for a couple years. So we're going to get our 2 pass rushers.
Let's freaking go, man. I need to win. I need this. I need this.
And that's significant because Leonard Williams will not be playing. So we got to put pressure on Cooper Rush. And then the other biggest factor is be accountable. You know, like when Tyreek Hill and other players on offense, you're like, where's that guy?
Yeah.
Just make sure you know where number 11 is on the Dallas defense.
It's like you back in high school, right? Where's 21?
Yeah, well.
Where is number 11 in this situation? And that's what I'm trying to get at, is that I know exactly what you meant by that. Where is number 11? Wherever he is, make sure you have somebody covering him. I don't care if you get Bellinger, chipping him, chip blocks, running backs, whatever you have to do to make this guy not impact this game. Because the New York Giants, yes, it's a new revamped line, Ted. They've already given up 8 sacks this year. So it hasn't been pretty, other than Andrew Thomas right now, who's been excelling as our left tackle right now, and looks like he's going to be going long-term the New York Giants left tackle for a while, which is a great sign. But Absolutely. The rest of this offensive line, Ted, and you said it best, wherever number 11 is, you have to figure it out. You have to find it. You have to game plan. You have to do whatever you can to, like, players like this, you can only contain them. You can't fully stop a guy like Micah Parsons. I mean, no matter what you want to say, he's going to have some sort of influence on this game. He's going to have an impact on this game, no matter what it is. He may not have 10 sacks in the game, and that's, he didn't have an impact. If he could get to the quarterback and make it uncomfortable for Daniel Jones and this offensive line and in this running attack with Saquon Barkley, then yes, he did his part. It's not always about stats. I mean, that's the one thing that, like, everybody says about Aaron Donald. Well, he doesn't have like 20 and a half sacks. Well, he did 1 year. But my point is that when you're getting triple teamed, you're getting double teamed, it's hard to have and produce like other guys because you're just that damn good. And Micah Parsons, to some, maybe the best defensive player in the game right now, and at least one of the best pass rushers in the game, maybe one of the best players in the game. So he's done his part since being drafted as a Dallas Cowboy. And Ted, you said it right, too. Daniel Jones. We talked about Kirk Cousins last week, how he's now 2-10 all time in Monday Night Football history and the worst all time. Well, I got something better for you. Daniel Jones is 0-7 in primetime games. So he's never won a primetime game. And if we forgot, tonight is a primetime game. Hasn't been pretty. 11 touchdowns, 13 picks, passer rating of 78.8, and he's the first quarterback in NFL history to be 0-7 in primetime games to start. So you look at how this series has been. It's been all Dallas. It's been a dominant series. You couldn't even call it. Yes, it's a rivalry because it's been going on since the 60s, but it's been anything but a rivalry. It's been all Dallas, dominating recently. And Ted, you said it best. Stop Micah Parsons or could try to contain him. They got to get this rushing attack going. Currently third in the league right now, averaging 170 yards per game. But they got to get this offensive going, this offensive passing attack. And we kind of talked about it, T, with the Green Bay Packers. It's hard to do that when you don't have a guy that can beat you over the top. And the Giants don't have that. They were hoping it's Kenny Golladay. They don't have that, Ted.
Well, I mean, maybe the kid Wan'Dale Robinson. I mean,
no, he's out. I believe he's out too tonight.
There's Tony, Golladay, Sterling Shepard. Listen, we got to use all the pieces. Barkley's leading the league in rushing, 236 yards. And I know probably not now after yesterday's performances, but we got to continue running the ball, right? We got to run the ball like we did against Tennessee in the second half. We're a second half team so far. We've been pitiful in the first halves of both games. In the second halves, we scored 34 points in the second half so far in the two games. Got to play much better. Got to run the ball. Saquon's got to have one of those games where he takes over. And then this is like I was saying before, and I'm not trying to reference it again, but the Miami game, like Dak's not here, like Michael Gallup's out, like Tyron Smith is out. Like take advantage of a beat-up Dallas team at this point.
Dalton Schultz, I don't believe, is playing either.
He's not?
I don't believe so. He sustained an injury. I don't know the latest about his injury. Maybe he's questionable right now. So Dallas isn't going to be full health.
So you got to take advantage. Like they're having the whiteout. You got like 7 Giants getting into the Ring of Honor tonight. Justin Tuck is one of them. Joe Morris, Otis Anderson. Otis, my man. But,
my man Otis. My man Otis.
Who the hell is that boy?
But, who's that? Who that boy?
Who that guy? But
dude,
you mind if we dance with your dates?
They got nothing to say. They just silence. They walk off and take them. Ted, honestly,
we're watching Animal House, folks.
If you don't know, Animal House, it's a classic for you.
So here's the thing: it's a very simple process, right? Let's run the ball with Saquon. Let's gain some yards. let's get close to 100 yards for Saquon. Let's hit the play action passes. Hopefully, Kenny Galladay can be a productive receiver for us tonight. And then the other thing is, I think a big key is the wink, man. Wink, wink. Martindale, the defensive coordinator, man. He something that he brought from Baltimore. It's blitz, blitz, blitz. Bring packages. It's heavy. If you noticed last week, they changed their defensive philosophy once Leonard Williams went out. They went from 3 D linemen to 2 D linemen. A lot more linebackers, a lot more secondary guys. So I say throw the whole king caboodle at Cooper Rush, everything that you can, and just bring it. Pressure him.
And remember,
use him. Hopefully, the Giant crowd tonight has a little bit of the old Giant crowd. I'm kind of pissed off.
They better. If they don't, shame on them.
Hey, listen, it's supposed to be a whiteout.
It's supposed to be the color rushers get me nervous.
I should be at this game tonight. I should be at this game by myself, losing my voice by the end of the first quarter, screaming at every Dallas fan.
Sleeping by the third quarter,
and then waking up in the fourth. Ready to go. No, it's just.
Well, if you remember,
listen, I'm pumped.
If you remember the last time,
I told Dad. I'll tell you this. I told Dad this, and I'll end it on this. For me as a Giant fan, this game is the most important game. This is the most important game of the 3 games. If they lose this game, I'll feel like they're 0-3. That's personally how I feel.
I'll feel like I'm dead last in the
because this game has so much more importance. It's a divisional game. It's a conference game.
And it's the Cowboys.
It's Monday. And here's the other thing. It's Monday Night Football. Everyone is watching us tonight. All right.
Yeah.
Now I also have to stream in the Judge thing because he's playing tonight too. So you got to remember.
I get it. But still.
But here's the thing. You win. You go 3-0 in the division. You keep up with the Philadelphia Eagles, who right now look at one of the 3 best teams in football. All right. Yeah, and it's just momentum, because the way I look at it is like, you got Chicago next week. We're not going to look ahead, but what Tom Brady said, and Bill, one game at a time. But
especially for this franchise,
so much more significance than anything, and it's Dallas, bro. Like, if you're a Giant fan, you understand the significance. Like,
we hate.
We don't like Philly. We don't like Washington. Dallas is a whole nother.
We hate. I mean, me personally, I know some Giant fans hate Philly more. Me personally, I hate the Dallas Cowboys. And for any Dallas fans, I'm sorry. I'm just going to be upfront. I hate the Dallas Cowboys. I don't like anything about them. I don't like their owner. I don't like their fans. I'm going to be like Stephen A. Smith. I don't care. You've been talking for 25 plus years. Yeah, you're the Dallas Cowboys, and that's great. I understand it. But guess what? You haven't won jack diddly. You've done nothing.
And that's why we have to prove it, because
I'd root for Russia. I'd root for Russia, Ted, over the Dallas Cowboys if they were playing 1-on-1. You can call me whatever you want.
I don't know if I do that now, but
maybe I'll think of another country. But in this case, I get it. I understand. Yeah, Cuba. I would not root for the Dallas Cowboys ever in my life. Hell has to freeze over before I ever root for the Dallas Cowboys. This is everything for the New York Giants. This is everything for the New York Giants franchise, because of the sense of, like we just talked about, the Miami Dolphins. If you want to meet the standards of being respected by your peers, then you have to beat teams like this. And yes, I know the Dallas Cowboys are not fully healthy, but still, this is the team that's been representing the NFC East. They've been winning the division. They've been on top of the NFC East for some time now. If you want to get to that reaching goal, you're going to have to beat them. And this is going to be a true test for this New York Football Giants team. And it's great that their defense, who's been stout as of right now, it's been solid. It's been very, very impressive so far for a defense that doesn't have a lot of stars on it, but has been impressive. They are getting back Kayvon Thibodeau, and they're getting ZZ. They're getting both their edge rushers back. Yes, Leonard Williams not being there is going to be a huge loss, but having those 2 guys come back, that's a huge deal, especially with Martindale. What he loves to bring blitzes, packages, confuse the offensive game plans, offensive schemes. This is a huge sign moving forward for the Giants. Let's see what happens. We're not making any predictions. I just want to see the New York Giants prevail and finally beat the Dallas Cowboys, because it's so long overdue, and we just need it. I just need it. Dallas week is different. There's 18 weeks every year, and for the Giant fans, it's only been 18 weeks for a while now, because we don't make the playoffs. But when Dallas plays, when it's Dallas week, it just hits differently. There's a different feel to the air. There's a different crisp to the air, and there's definitely some spiciness to it. We need this. We need it. I can't take another loss by this team. I can't. I'll lose my freaking mind. Because you said it best, Ted. If they lose tonight, it's like feeling like you're already 0-3 in the division.
Let me explain this to you real quick because I know we're running on. Last week, the Giants won. I was more upset that Dallas won than I was the Giants won. I was more pissed off about the Cowboys winning. I'm like, these son of a bees, they got to kick the game-winning field goal. They got to show Jerry Jones. Like, the media loves it. They got to show him. They got to put the whole press.
I know.
I want to push him off the
just push him. Just push him.
Watch him fall. See ya.
We're very.
And then I'm like, the Giants won. I'm like, yeah, it was a good win. Dallas wins. I'm like, I'm losing my shit.
Yeah, you were really more. And I was just like, dude, we just won a game that we usually don't win. So they've been winning games the way they haven't in the past. Let's see if they can continue.
Hey, listen, this weekend's been really weird. Teams that are not supposed to win are winning. So maybe that's a good thing for the Giants.
Can they stay undefeated and be one of the 3 remaining teams left in the NFL after 3 weeks? Only 3 teams possibly left. Could be 2 by tonight. Let's hope it's 3. But Ted, you just said it was a weird weekend. A weird but eventful weekend. I just want to give you some of the takeaways of what happened yesterday. We got the punt/fumble 2.0 in the Miami game. We got Dan Orlowski 2.0 in the Sunday night game last night with Jimmy G stepping out of bounds and didn't know. We had an 11-10 final score Sunday night game. Brady versus Rodgers ended in 14-12.
No, it did not 14-12, 22.
14-12, Ted, was the final score. Go look. The Chiefs, dominating that football game, struggled to beat the Indianapolis Colts, who were probably one of the worst teams in the league coming into the game. The Jacksonville Jaguars are first place in the AFC South and destroyed the Los Angeles Chargers. Huge loss today. Breaking news is Rashawn Slater, all-pro left tackle, is out for the year. Huge loss for the Chargers. And the great AFC West that we talk so highly about this offseason, and everybody was hyped. Is the West not the best anymore, Ted? I don't know, because right now they are combined 5-7 through 3 weeks. So, Ted, you look at how everything played out yesterday. The Dolphins winning, the Colts winning, the scores, the performances. It was eventful, but it was odd. Was it an odd day, or is this a sign of things to come in the sense of maybe this is just the parody of the NFL world currently?
I think it's your latter statement, the one you just made. It's what the NFL is all about. We see this every couple of years, every other year. We see teams that finish last in the division, finish first in the division. We see balance. We see because of injuries, because of free agency, because of draft picks. Because of coaching. Look at the Jacksonville Jaguars in 1 year.
Hell yeah, look at that.
Now listen, I get it. It's early in the season. They could easily be 3-0. They should have beat Washington in week 1. They had a big lead. They blew it. But they look like a whole different team from where they were last year. Trevor Lawrence looks more confident. Christian Kirk has made a great impact. James Robinson, Travis Etienne. The defense, they're all over the field.
Causing turnovers, getting sacked.
Big, they're strong. They're fast. They kind of look like a younger version of the 49ers. So they have some prospects. They're still building to something. But right now, if you look at the AFC South, they might be the best team right now in the AFC South. I get it, the record-wise, but they just by eye visualization of seeing what you see, they look ready to go. Because the Colts don't look it. The AFC West, I don't know what to make of it right now. I think you got to think about this. You have 2 major coaching changes with Josh McDaniels and Hackett coming in for Denver and Raiders. Now, you were a big Raider fan this year coming into the season. Not too good. Not too good, kid. 0-3. But then they have not looked good at all. Offensively, they have not looked where they need to be. And then defensively, I mean, listen, they almost had a chance yesterday. Denver does not look smooth. I told you today when we were on the phone, we were talking about this. Russell Wilson looks like a shell of himself until the fourth quarter where it looked like he told, the coach, like, I'm taking over. Enough of your nonsense. This is my show. I'm going to scramble. I'm going to make plays. He has not looked good. The Chiefs yesterday blew a big lead against the Colts. Should have never lost that game. But I think it's just a thing of what you're going to see in the NFL right now because of, and something that you kind of jumped down my throat about, you don't have guys playing in the preseason. So the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season always becomes an extension of the preseason because now you're going to see in the next 4 to 6 weeks what the teams are really all about. You're going to see the good teams are really going to continue and then the bad teams will continue to fade away. But I think it's a sign of what the preseason guys not playing. Also major injuries too, man. Like Dallas, there's no Dak. They didn't play.
Yeah, the injuries too.
How
about the kickers right now? Unless you're Justin Tucker, field goal kickers. they're just missing kicks left and right.
Well, we have a good kicker in New York. Cano. He's
Yes,
good.
I get that.
He's
I
good.
get that. I get
But
that.
I look at it the whole thing and I'm like, okay, it's what the NFL is all about. It's what makes the NFL the number one sport and the greatest sport and entertainment on national television. Because every week you can't tell me what's going to go on. No, I tell you, if I was a betting man, I should have put some money yesterday because I told you yesterday the other day, even though we posted our predictions and I was an idiot because I did it during the week, but I told you, I said, watch the Colts win. And you're like, no. I'm like, watch. It's just the way the NFL works.
I really didn't think they were good. I was stunned they won.
It was just the way. It's just the way the NFL works.
I know.
Right?
I was stunned.
Okay, and then we both picked the Bills because we're living in the moment, not really looking at the bigger picture.
Whoa, I'm not living in the moment. I'm looking for the future.
We should have picked Miami. We should have known Miami was going to win. It was a game that they should have, could have, did win because it just sets up that way. They're in Miami. It's a thing. We're too high on the Bills. That's why next week's game, that Baltimore. Listen, we won't get into it, but Miami could easily be 1-2 right now. They should have lost to Baltimore and they should have lost yesterday, but they didn't, and they're 3-0. So, like we said when we started the show with the New York Giants,
the Giants could be 0-2 right now.
You take the wins when you can get them.
That's it.
All right.
That's right.
You look at Tampa Bay, multiple injuries, everyone's out. I mean, Brady, they've scored 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns in 36 possessions this year.
They don't look impressive.
They look awful offensively. I mean,
Ted, I'm being serious. You look at this NFC right now, and
wide open ball game.
I would say
except for one team, and I know where you're going with. Except for one team right now, the NFC is wide open. Other than the Philadelphia Eagles right now, because they've been the most impressive team in the NFC. The Rams don't look that impressive. Okay.
That's what I was going to say.
They got the win yesterday and they got the win the week before, but they almost blew a big lead last week against the Falcons. The Cardinals game, still they're not where they need to be. All right, the 49ers have a major loss, and I told you Jimmy G, he's limited. The Seahawks stink. Cardinals.
Well, no, that's what I was going to say is that this NFC right now is that you look at it, the Eagles above everyone else, and this NFC is just it's not convincing. And maybe it is a sign of things to come for this season. And maybe we bought into all the hype of the AFC West and how great the AFC West.
I mean, the Chargers, Trev.
Hold on, it was how the AFC West was going to be the greatest division ever with the Chargers, with Russell Wilson going to Denver. Denver can't figure out how to get into the end zone. They still are a complete mess. Let's just say the Oakland Raiders, because they look like the Oakland Raiders right now. The Las Vegas Raiders, who I was extremely high on right now, I'm still expecting them to play to that expectations. But right now, 0-3, they're the only team in the NFL. The Chiefs losing a game that they don't lose. And then the Chargers getting blown out. Like, just these divisions. You look at the divisions right now. The AFC North is wide open. The AFC East, we'll see if Miami can continue this hot trend going, beating 2 of the best AFC teams in the past 2 weeks. The AFC South is – hold on. And then the AFC South is led –
going to be dominated by the Baltimore Ravens.
And then the AFC South – they probably will be because Lamar, we'll talk about Lamar in a few, but he's been unbelievable. And then you look at the AFC South, the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. I mean, they're leading the division. So that AFC, who knows what's going to be? And then the NFC is complete toss-up. Yes, the Eagles have looked like maybe the most complete team in all of the NFL right now, just because they don't really have a glaring weakness. And if we want to still say Jalen Hurts, well, Jalen Hurts has been delivering and has been, if he continues, the Eagles are not going to have to worry about finding a quarterback. They're going to have their quarterback for the next 10 to 12 years. His name is Jalen Hurts. With the receivers of Devontae Smith, with A.J. Brown have delivering Dallas Goedert, Miles Sanders, Gainwell, Boston Scott. That offensive line is legit. And then the defense has been playing great. I know they had
9 sacks yesterday.
And
9 sacks.
That's crazy. And then I know they had one. I know the game against Detroit was maybe just like a flash in the pan by them, but still, this NFC, Green Bay, I'm not convinced. Tampa, I am certainly not convinced. The Rams, you said it. The Rams could have lost last week or this past week. The Cardinals just figure out what the hell they're doing offensively, and then the Saints, who everybody was maybe the team to come out of the NFC. My God, what's happened to the Saints? I mean, this NFL right now as a whole has been. I mean, 3 teams are left.
Listen, this is what makes it great, though, because you don't know week in and week out. Here's the other thing. I would tell you right now, the 49ers are a legit team. Their problem is, and this is why they wanted Trey Lance over Jimmy G, is because he's limited. They were hoping Trey Lance could be what Jalen Hurts is providing for the Eagles because that defense for the 49ers is legit. Number
Yeah.
one defense. It's dominant. It's
Yeah.
physical. They come get you after the quarterback. They can guard the pass, guard the run. They're going to be dominant throughout the season.
They're going to be a tough out.
Problem is Jimmy G is limited. He's good. He's just limited because I feel like if I was picking the NFC conference championship right now, it would be the 49ers versus the Eagles. That would be my top two teams right now. And my AFC teams right now would be Baltimore versus the Bills. That would be my two teams. That would be my conference championship right now. And a lot of that has to do with Baltimore is because Lamar right now I would take for MVP. Because they should be.
I'm just trying to think.
He's been dominant.
I'm trying to think right now.
Jalen Hurts has been dominant for the Eagles.
I'm trying to think right now just because of like Eagles, 49ers. Yeah, that sounds about right. Just because
maybe the only team you can argue is maybe the Chiefs.
Well, I'm talking about the NFC. I'm just thinking really quickly. Just NFC. Yeah, you'd probably. I mean, listen,
listen, I get Green Bay won yesterday.
I mean, their defense played their part.
Mike Evans is playing yesterday.
Could be
or Julio or one of those other guys. I think Tampa Bay wins yesterday. But because he was throwing a freaking Cole Beasley, who was packing groceries last week. He signed on Wednesday. You know, Scotty Miller, Russell Gage, who hasn't played all season, Rashad Berriman, like these are 4th, 5th, 6th practice. I mean, and here's the funny thing about the whole thing. Brady still almost had a chance to tie the game and win it.
Well, he's never out of a game. We know that.
But I'm saying Green.
I get. No, I get it. It's just
withheld them.
It's just like you just look at the NFC. It's wide open right now. The AFC. If I had to pick right now, if the season ended today, like honestly, I'm feeling the same thing. Just maybe the Chiefs because of the fact that they just been there and they just know how to do it. They just know how to get there. No matter what, they will get. They'll be in contention all the way till the end. You did bring up two guys right now, and it seems like the MVP race. I know it's week 3, and everybody goes absolutely berserk and insane about like, oh, well, he's the MVP or this. Well, there's two guys to me right now, maybe with the exception of Josh Allen because, well, of course, he's the best quarterback in the world. So, anyways, there's been two quarterbacks that have been extremely, extremely impressive, and two quarterbacks that could easily be both 3-0. One of them is 3-0. One of them's 2-1. By the way, that's another reason why, Ted, the NFL has been so odd this year. It's only 3 teams that are left that are undefeated. And the 3 teams are the Eagles, the Dolphins, and the Giants. Now, who would have thought? Who would have ever thought that? We'll see if the Giants continue after tonight, but right now it's 3 teams. So, Ted, let's close out with this because these look like the 2 front runners of the MVP ladder right now. To you, you've seen 3 weeks of it. You've seen what Jalen Hurts has done. You've seen how great he has looked. You've seen that offense, how dynamic it is with him at the helm, leading the league in yards per game right now. And then you look at what Lamar Jackson is doing for this Baltimore Ravens franchise. And just like the New York Yankees, Baltimore, you really put yourselves in a tough predicament because that man is just getting, as the day goes by, the money is just continues to rise. The price continues. The price is wrong because it's going to continue to rise for Lamar Jackson. Price is wrong. My thing is, Ted, you've seen 3 weeks of these guys. You saw what Lamar did last week. I know that he lost. You saw what he did yesterday. Who has been more impressive to you? Is it Lamar or is it Jalen Hurts?
For me, it's Lamar Jackson. And it's not big. I mean, listen, I can easily make the statement, hey, listen, it's Jalen Hurts because you're seeing Jalen Hurts do all the things that you were hoping he would do. He's become more of a complete passer. We know his ability to run. Yesterday, he threw for over 300 yards, had 3 passing touchdowns. They're dominant. But I'm sticking with Lamar, man. Lamar, I get it. He's had.
Did you say you're sick of it, or you're sticking with Lamar?
Sticking with.
I thought you said you're sick of Lamar. Like, wait, what?
No. I mean, Lamar is.
That's the man right
there. Right now, they should be 3-0. Lamar is. Lamar. I thought his MVP season was impressive. He's playing better than his MVP season.
By far.
He's leading the Ravens right now in the. The Ravens offense right now is the NFL's highest scoring offense. Okay. I want to make sure I get my words right and slow down. All right. But just in 3 games right now, Lamar Jackson is ranked number 1 in passing touchdowns. He's number 1 in quarterback rating. He's number 3 in pass yards average, and he's number 4 overall in rushing yards. Okay.
Yeah. He leads the league.
He has been so dominant, bro. And
By the way, he's also the quarterback of the defense that is dead last in the NFL right now, giving up almost a nice 460 yards. Ted, they put the projections on. It's only 3 weeks. The projections for Lamar Jackson this year, if he continues with this trend, is 5,621 yards of offense, 68 touchdowns.
Sure, that kind of looks like when you and me played Madden.
That's what they said this morning. It's like that's Madden. That's what Dan Orlowski said. It's Madden stats, what he's doing right now. And if he continues this trajectory, my God.
I think eventually it's going to.
We're going to have to pay him $1 billion.
Listen, eventually it's going to balance out. I think J.K. Dobbins coming back, he'll take a little pressure. But like yesterday, he only ran 11 times.
I think that will only make that offense scarier.
But here's the thing: we always talk about Bill Belichick, the defensive mind. This, the Frankenstein, the Dr. Frankenstein's able to always come down and be able to shut down quarterbacks. Yesterday, he was 18 of 29 for 218 yards, 4 touchdowns. Yes, he had an interception, but his quarterback rating was 110.3. He also added 107 yards rushing on 11 carries. That's a 9.7 average. He's dominating, bro. He's literally 3 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown every game. He's averaging almost 100 yards rushing. He's the best running back right now in the league, and he's the best quarterback in the league. So, I mean, what is this? Jackson's the first player in the Super Bowl era with 10 or more touchdown passes and 100 or more yards rushing in all first 3 games of the season. I mean, I'm looking at things right now. He's also became the 3rd player in NFL history to record 4 touchdown passes and rush for 100 yards in a single game, joining only Cam Newton and Randall Cunningham. So what I'm going to say to you is this, and I'll end it on this. Aaron Judge bet on himself and is having a historic
and it's not done
season. And he's still got another week and a half left. Guess what? Lamar Jackson's doing the same. The only problem in this scenario is
one guy gets
the NFL.
One guy gets hit every play.
Well, no. One guy
and the other guy just hits baseballs.
Well, no. The scenario is the NFL has more control over their players in the sense that they could just franchise him next year.
Yeah, I know it's BS.
And he'll still get $40 million for the year, and I get it. It's still $40 million, but we talk
the man is a superstar.
Where in the baseball, you can't get franchise. Now, there's arbitration years. There's arbitration years, and that's something that Judge had dealt with this year with the Yankees. That's why they almost went to court, but they ended up resolving it before that situation occurred. But if you want to relate these two guys together, well, Aaron Judge bet on himself, declined to $213 million, and now looks like the number is going to start with minimum 3, and then we'll build our way up with Aaron Judge.
How much do you think? How much do you think is the guarantee, though? That was the whole dispute for Lamar. That was the whole dispute.
I'm thinking it was
because he wanted more like what Watson.
I'm thinking it was more like a Dak contract. It was maybe like 180 with 100 guaranteed, and he probably wants closer to where Josh and all the other guys.
No, he wants more than what Watson got.
No, I don't think he wants Lamar.
No, that was the words.
I get that, but I think that's the outlier. I think you have to look at more what Josh Allen, Kyler Murray got. But I'm telling you though, listen, they win the division, and he has close to. I'm going to put it this way: 4,800 yards passing, gets it close to another 1,000 yards rushing, has 50 plus touchdowns.
So that's 5,800 yards of total offense
with 50 touchdowns. Here's the thing: the Ravens could just franchise tag him.
The starting point should be $500 million. Then
no,
I'm just saying, like what he's doing, what he would.
His contract should be similar, but just below Patrick Mahomes. Not 500 million. But I think it should be somewhere in the. Actually, you know what? It should be what Deshaun Watson has. Maybe not fully guaranteed, but maybe it's a 250.
Ted, you sound like the Ravens right now. I feel like you sound foolish right now. If this guy goes off, if this guy goes to do what Judge is doing from the standpoint of baseball to football, if he does that and he doesn't get, and he's not the highest, and he's not. Hold on, and he's
not. Lamar loses in the playoffs,
and he's not the highest paid player. Okay, but what if it's not on him?
Okay.
Like, if it is on him, okay. If he struggles,
listen, I believe in paying everyone, so pay him.
But they need to pay this man what he deserves. He's won an MVP. Once it's come into the league, he's made this franchise. I mean, this franchise has always been great. I'm not saying that, but this franchise is exciting to watch.
5 years, $250 million, $200 million guaranteed.
No, starting point is like 300. With the year he's having right now, if he stays healthy, if he can stay healthy and play the way he's been playing so far for the first 3 weeks and play another 15 weeks like this, oh my God. I would just laugh at that contract then. I'd be like, good luck. You better start paying. or I'm going somewhere that's going to pay me. And somebody will pay for Lamar Jackson because I
problem
guarantee
is
there's
the
about
team has
other than
to-
5
listen,
franchises in the NFL right now that probably would want, maybe even less, that would want Lamar Jackson
Trev, everyone except for Josh Allen
and Patrick
and
Mahomes.
and Mahomes.
That's it.
Listen, and right now I could see what people going legit argument. I'll take Lamar over Herbert.
Oh
So
yeah,
maybe other than three,
right now,
maybe
Ted,
other than 3 quarterbacks in the league, you would
I
take
was
Lamar
wrong.
Jackson over every single
I was
quarterback in
wrong.
this
I
league.
would.
If I'm
I
a
would-
Dallas Cowboy fan, I said I'm going to offer you Lamar Jackson for Dak and a first round pick. You're like, oh my god. If I'm a
I
Dallas
would.
fan,
If
I mean, I'd
me
trade
finish
my
up.
whole organization if I could. I'd give him the Russell Wilson deal.
If I'm, other than honestly, I would. I was foolish. If I had to, there'd be only 2 teams that would
So
not.
with,
I would
with
not
this
trade for.
argument that you're arguing about, are you taking Lamar more impressive?
So
or are you
here's
taking
my
Jalen
thing.
Hurts?
I don't think we should discredit Jalen Hurts and what he's
No,
done.
bro,
So
he's having a phenomenal.
you asked me a
season.
question. I'm going to answer it.
Well, I know. I was just going with you.
All
on
right,
that.
let me
I
answer it.
was
I'm going to say Jalen Hurts has been incredible. He's leading the most high octane offense currently in the first 3 weeks. He's definitely deserving of MVP consideration.
Yeah, but his numbers are not the same as
I
Lamar.
know he's got only 7 total touchdowns. His completion percentage has went up each and every year, which is a huge sign because that was one of his knocks coming out of college. Can he win but throwing the football? It's delivered. It's continued to improve. He's 3rd in passing, his 6th in QBR, and he's 5th in passer rating. And he's currently undefeated. He's been playing well. The team has been playing well. But I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson because I think it would be foolish to not say what Lamar's doing currently for that franchise and for that team because we know how bad this defense is. This defense is very bad. It's not a good defense. I'm very stunned how bad the
loss of
Baltimore
Lincoln
Ravens defense is.
Martindale,
Yes.
the one that the Giants have as their defense quarter. I couldn't believe when they let him go. We talked about this, not on the show.
And Jalen Hurts should not get knocked for this. It's not a knock on him because he is most deserving, deserving, and most definitely deserving.
I would put him 3rd in the MVP count. I would have Lamar, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Patrick Mahomes 4th.
I mean, Hurts is. I mean, he's.
I get it, but
It's
I'm
hard
still
to.
gonna.
It's
I'm
hard to
still
argue.
gonna-
He might. It's
listen,
hard to argue that he's not in the top 2.
Who other than Lamar, who's getting asked to do more in the league other than Josh Allen?
Yeah.
He has to do. I mean, we talked about this off script, and we could have talked about.
Do you think the Eagles could though? Let me ask you this, and then we'll get out of here. Do you think that the Eagles would be undefeated and be having this sustained success if Hurts wasn't the quarterback right now, playing like they had like they had Gardner Minshew? Could just say their backup. Could they be able to sustain that success? I'm not saying. I know Josh Allen and Lamar. Trust me.
Come on, he's a backup quarterback. You gotta give me something better. But I mean,
would they be able to survive if it wasn't Jalen Hurts right now?
I don't have a educational or logical answer. I would say no, but because his dynamic of being able to run the ball. Yesterday he only ran the ball 9 times for 20 yards. But he was impressive in the passing game.
He won with throwing the football.
He brings the balance, and I'll put this. The other thing is, their defense has been really impressive the past 2 weeks. Really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they had 9 sacks yesterday. They had picked off Cousins like 7,000 times last week because Kirk Cousins was garbage because he can't play on primetime football either. I mean,
that's why Ted picked him.
Yeah, of course I did. I was just outside the box. But it's just. I will also say this too. I look at their schedule too. They have taken advantage of their schedule. If you look at their schedule the next 4 weeks, it's not that difficult of a schedule.
Well, they got a good matchup. They got a good.
The Lions, okay, I get it. It's the Lions. We don't look at them the way they have an impressive offense, but they gave up some late touchdowns. Week 2 they played Minnesota. I was an idiot for even thinking Minnesota was going to win. I just believed on the hype to week 1 because they beat Green Bay. I'm like, maybe the Minnesota Vikings will be different. No, they're the same old dumb Vikings, and Kirk Cousins is the same old garbage player on primetime football. I mean, it was opening night for Philly. It was the primetime game. You know that crowd was going to be ruckus. You know they were going to be fired up. You know they wanted to build off of that win week before, and you know they had to be disappointed on their defensive performance in week 1. So, and then this week, Carson Wentz is coming to town, and they wanted to show him who was boss.
And
I mean, I think Carson Wentz had like 20 yards passing in the first half. It was like garbage.
They certainly did. We will see.
Garbage. So, Philly, hey, listen, they've been impressive, and right now they look like the best team in the NFC.
We will see what happens tonight. The New York Football Giants take on the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football. Cannot wait. Let's go, Big Blue. We need this. I cannot see it. And we will keep in track of the big man out in Toronto as he tries to tie Roger Maris's 61 home runs as he didn't get it during the homestand. It's unfortunate, but we will see, and we will keep track of history. Also, like I said, you could check out Keys to the City on all social media platforms at Keys to the City, Twitter, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook. Comment, like, subscribe, or share. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Keys to the City. We'll see you next episode. We're out.
You are now in tune to the Keys to the City podcast.